Hello guys, welcome back to another video. The only thing I want to say is, I know this is like 10th of December, I know, but I'm recording this, I'm making this video, anything like that, you know what I mean, on the 21st of August. So, just because I watched the film on the 20th of August, then I'm going to make the review video on the 21st, and then mainly the video will come out obviously today on the 10th of September. So if you're thinking, oh, why is there lots of review videos around this month, it's because, you know, some Saturdays earlier on this year, it didn't, you know, have the opportunity to do, I don't know, for example, Bird Train or Elvis or something. So, you know what I mean, because some Saturdays didn't have any review videos or anything like that. So that's why I'm doing all this stuff now. Anyway, I know I also said that I'll do the ET review around this time or first, but then Star Trek. But because I said that in like a announcement video or something like that, I didn't know at the time. I forgot that I booked to do, and the only screening time was about Star Trek. The first one was Star Trek 2, and then it's ET, not ET. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do in my videos with this sort of thing. And the only thing I know this is not really important with my video is if my hair looks messy. I just came out of the shower, I got dressed, I got everything ready, I know what I'm gonna say, I'm in the rush, not really, you know what I mean, like, I just wanted to make a video about Star Trek just before I forget about it, because there's lots of things I want to say in this video, and I really mean it. Anyway, let's begin. Hey guys, this is a proper intro now. So obviously I watched this film on the 20th of August, and I'm recording this or making this video on the 21st of August, but technically this video is on the 10th of September. So if you're thinking, hey, why is there lots of review videos? This is why. And I got confused thinking we're going to do ET, that review first, and then I'll do Star Trek. And let's be honest here, I did know, but I forgot that I scheduled, because the booking time at the cinema, because nobody cares about old movies anymore at the cinema, and they think, oh, why don't we have a best time to watch about late at night time around, I don't know, you know, because for some reason when I reacted to my reaction on my first viewing for Star Trek at the cinema, it was really late at night, so I got really annoyed at this film. I was really bored, you know, I'll talk about it later. So yeah, hello guys, welcome back to another video. I think I already said that, but okay. Today we're going to review Star Trek, as you know, clue in the title. I feel like this movie sucks just because like, this is the same as Dune, the 1980s version. The aging doesn't fit, the effects doesn't fit well, the story is so confusingly slightly straightforward. Nothing, because I'm not really a Star Trek fan, guys, but at the end of the day, I felt like I wanted to be a Star Trek fan because I wanted to see the first movie of Star Trek, and it lets you thinking, if you're not really a Star Trek fan and you wanted to see this film, I don't recommend it. But if you like really bad movies, this is the film for you. It's not really bad. The story's great. The characters are great. I think everything else is bad in it. But this is similar to Dune, as I said before. So this is like one of those movies that completely sucks of everything. Like, the effects suck. The aging sucks because they're in their 50s, 60s now. No, in that film. But I mean, like, I know one of the actors has died, you know, can't remember her name, but she died recently. I'm not going to do a tribute video just because this is like a really far-fetched tribute video, maybe. I don't even care, because I just want to make a video and get done with it, you know, and put it to sci-fi time, just because I really love Star Trek. I'm not saying I hate the franchise, but this film sucks just because it's from the 1980s. I thought the 1980s was a good decade. Some people say, and I agree, but then I realised the 1980s has taken a lie to us, so I'm not sure. Anyway, guys, at the end of the day, 1980s effects were they didn't know how to make effects back in those days, but we know how to make effects now. But back in those days, they're stupid. So yeah, this is a good film. I'm not saying this is a bad film. All the characters from the original series from the 1960s. The 1960s series is in this film in the 1980s, and you can tell it's the 1980s, but in the 1960s TV show version, you wouldn't know it's from the 1960s. You can completely know it's from another future, but with this, you can definitely tell it's the 80s. Just because they're old, just because of how the effects are so bad, and some of the characters in space, they were like their legs were jiggling about or something. The effects were like cutting off, like, you know, the effects were like weird. It looks like the whole spaceship was like, not all of the spaceship, but the small ones are coming apart and everything. I got bored in the film. I just got bored in the film. Like, it was too long, really boring. It felt like you were watching a holiday special of Star Trek, you know, like a really long holiday special. And apparently this is all for Star Trek fans. And I don't want to be a Star Trek fan just because I don't like this film, because it's so rubbish. It's so the effects, as I said before, is rubbish. But it's not just rubbish. It's so cheesy looking. It's like you watch. I get it if it's really. The effects looks like one of those effects in those old video games that you used to play in the 90s or the early 2000s. I get that if it was effects for that and that looks good, or it's from a TV show and that looks good, but for film-wise, it's rubbish. But also, what I was trying to say is so even the film, the colours, when you see the characters, the background, everything like that, the colours are not really bright looking. Probably because it was a really dark, horrible, scary film. That's why they made it less colourful. But with the recent Star Trek films, they had colours in it. Well, you know what I mean. It had colourful things in it. This film was like really bad with the colours as well. Also with the TV show, it had more colours in it, more colourful thingy, probably because it was a TV show, but I mean, like, as again, like, this film was like 2 hours long or something like that, and I felt like I was watching a really boring episode of something, not just Star Trek, but something entirely, because with Dune, you know, the recent one, that was like 2 hours. That was a sci-fi film, but that you got more intrigued by that than watching this film, Star Trek motion picture. And this is like a director's cut, so I was watching some kind of thing. And if it's remastered, you wouldn't tell it's remastered because how bad the effects were. If it is remastered anyway, this version. So as I said again, I did watch this film late at night at the cinema. I think it's worth it to just laugh at it, at how cheesy the effects were and the acting is. I don't think the acting is too bad in general, but it's just, maybe I'm just used to the TV show more than this film, because it's my first time watching this, you know, this film, so I'm not sure in general. But at the end of the day, in the 1980s, they didn't know how to make film. I don't know why. Okay, the characters look old. As I said before. Just because the only character that looks well as his age and everything is James Turk, just because he looks good for his age and everything, but for some reason the others look completely old in general. Like, you know, all the films look old, like all the characters look old, I guess it was from 12 years later or some years later after the series, in the program. I'm not saying in real life in general, but if it was like a year later in the series or something, you know what I mean? They had a missing episode when they beginning to look old or something. I know there's an episode about that, but I'm not sure why. That's really disappointing, really. There's not really a big part in the story, but I mean, like this film, I'm not sure. To me, I felt bored. I didn't got interested into it, or everything with this film is bad. As you know, I didn't know who was the bad guy or the bad, and okay, so in the bit of the story, if you've seen the film, you don't need to know about this, but you haven't seen the film, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, just because it's bad. But if you want to see this film anyway, watch it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so the lightning struck this girl who's part of the crew, and then she turns into a goodie and a baddie by some kind of weird alien-ish that we never see in the film. It's one of those films that you think, is this part of a part 2? Obviously, but I mean, like, it just felt like it was part of another part, but didn't made it yet. So you were watching one part of it, but technically you're watching one film. So you're like, who's the bad guy? We never see the bad guy, and if we do see the bad guy, we don't know who the bad guy is. Is that sort of movie? Don't know why, but this film is so confusing. You kind of love it for that. But the also thing is, with this film, I didn't really like the characters because they bored me. The action bored me. Everything else bored me. I got bored at like the beginning when you saw the Enterprise bit. Then I got bored because I knew that this film would take forever from everything. Because you got the vibe when you saw just after or between the moments of the Enterprise bit, when you can see the Enterprise up close, think, oh yeah, this film's going to take forever, but not in a good way. The other thing is, the bad guys, good guys, I'm not sure who they are, who disappeared at the very beginning. Don't know who they are, because I'm not a Star Trek fan. I don't know anything about Star Trek, the films in general, so I don't know who they are. I guess they're bad guys, I guess they're good guys, the people who speak in a different language and have the subtitles with it. Oh, by the way, talking about subtitles, if you're like a slow reader like me, you will hate this film, because if you see subtitles, you read a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then it cuts to another sentence, and you think, hang on, let me get a break and read these subtitles. So at the end of the day, this film is really hard to follow, not just the story, but the subtitles as well. What is up with this film? I'm expecting viewers to read quicker, obviously, but some people can't read quicker. They have to read slowly. You can just get a bunch of subtitles there, and not here, obviously, but just get a little bit of subtitles that have loads of sentences in it, so you can take the time to read. I guess at the time they didn't know how to do subtitles with the time lapse sort of thing. I don't know. That's what I got with the subtitles bit. Yeah, so this film, it sucks with everything in it. If I was a Star Trek fan, I won't find it boring. I won't find it bad. But if you want to be a Star Trek fan or anything like that, like me, because I'm into sci-fi, I would recommend watching this film, even though you kind of want to watch this film because you love sci-fi in general. This film is not good, just like Dune. It's like Dune, but different, but Star Trek. So Dune is like Star Trek, this film. So Dune is bad with the effects, Star Trek is bad with the effects, Dune is bad with everything, with complicated plot and sign language and everything. Not sign language, what am I on about? The language. Everything like that is weird. Everything is even though when it doesn't get weird, it's complicatedly boringly straightforward, if that makes sense. So even the stuff that are not supposed to be straightforward is complicated, and when it's supposed to be straightforward, it's complicated. If that makes sense. So if it's supposed to be straightforward, the viewers find it complicated, and when something is complicated, it's straightforward to the viewers, and that's all a person probably. When you're supposed to think, oh, this is supposed to be complicated, but you understand it, and when something that is supposed to be straightforward isn't straightforward. So it's that sort of movie as well. It's complicated in every single way of what I'm on about, and it's true, guys. I'm not just making that up. I know some people think, and that's why some of the things I say in this review, or not this review personally, but other reviews are done in the series, I did say, oh, look at this character's not doing great, this character's not doing great. Sorry about that. But in this review, I'm being personal. It's just like the Dune review. I feel like this film sucks. Just because of the effects. Just because of the characters aging. Just because of this. Just because of that. But personally, I do like Star Trek. I do like everything to do with Star Trek. Star Wars. Stranger Things. Anything like that. But this film, if you really want to be a Star Trek person, I will recommend watching this film. Because I don't think you'll be a favourite of bad movies. If you love bad movies in general, you will love this film. But if you really want to know about Star Trek, I recommend you watching the show, the TV show, not the film. Because the film, I know that the second one's going to be rubbish because it's going to be the sequel to this one, the motion picture version, I guess. But anyway, I haven't seen this film before at the cinema, and this is probably the first 80s kind of old-fashioned film I watched at the cinema. So not just Star Trek, but any old film. So that's kind of new for me. But yeah, if I missed anything in this review, please put in the comments, because some people don't put things in the comments at all for some reason. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. I think there's more to this review, but at the moment I haven't got anything. I'll put some more things in the description box below. But as again, this is all I got. Bye!